Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Exos Single Shade Small, $13.95.90. So if you're familiar with the whole Exos line, it was incredibly well received quite a while ago and still doing strong. We have glass Exos for kitchen islands. We have these Exos shades that are made out of fabric in tons of different sizes. Those can go everywhere basically. This guy is the $13.95.90. Let's get into the size of the fixture body itself, and that's really the shade, and then just above the shade, just before we get into these telescoping rods. So this is 8.6 inches high and 11.6 inches in diameter. So this is the smallest one that's available with the fabric shade. When we get into the overall height, now we're talking about from the bottom of the fixture to the ceiling itself. And if you're familiar with Hubbardton Forge, they have a patent on this whole telescoping range rod idea. Smaller rod telescoping into a bigger rod, and they come together at what is called a clutch. And the clutch has a little set screw right there. It's a little hex nut, and that's pushing against a little piece that kind of keeps it in place. So it's going to come with this little tool. It's a hex nut wrench. So during your installation, you can bring it up and bring this thing down, get it where you want it to be. When you're ready, just kind of, you basically take this and you tighten that up, and it's going to keep it from going up and down. Now let's talk about adjustable ranges overall height. Now we're talking about from the bottom of the fixture, which is the bottom of the shade, the bottom of the metal, to the ceiling itself. So you're going to have three to play with to start off. The short is 28.5 to 44. The standard is 42 to 56.75. Long is 45.9 to 70. Remember, that's from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture. If you need shorter than the short, that means you need this to be coming down from the ceiling less than 28.5 or longer than the long. You need it to be longer than 70. We do customs every day, so the best thing to do is drop me a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. I send that over to customs, comes back, and we can get an answer for you. Got to tell me what you want. So you got to say, I want the $13.95.90. Let's say you need it to be 24 inches overall height. That's the simple question. So it comes over to me. Like I said, it comes back to you. Adds a little time, adds a little money, but we do customs every day, all day really. So now let's get into, why don't we talk about the canopy. And this is slope ceiling adaptable to 45 degrees. There's a knuckle right here, right at the top where it comes together. It allows us to be slope ceiling adaptable to 45 degrees, so you're covered there. It's also fine if you have a flat ceiling. It has a 5-inch diameter canopy that goes on the ceiling, and this goes flush against the ceiling, FYI. This indents a little bit. Some people have a question about that. But your junction box is going to be in the ceiling itself, and then the ceiling is really right here. So you're going to be using a 4-inch junction box that has that universal mounting kit right here. Plate, little part, and it kind of goes right on. So very easy, easy, easy. So this is going to be using one porcelain medium-based socket, just like this guy, and uses a regular screw-in bulb. So you got one of these facing down, so kind of keep that in mind. If you need something bigger than this with more light, its bigger brother is the 1390-600. You should check that one out too. Just did a video on that. So one downward facing up to 100-watt bulb. So this will actually give quite a bit of light too. This is an A19 light bulb, and A19 just means the size of the bulb. It's the size you and I all grew up with. It's about the size of the 60-watt bulb that we had since I was a kid. And you can now get LEDs that can, like this one, you can get these in like up to 150-watt equivalent. So if you guys want more light than the 100-watt incandescent, just start scouting around for an A19 that is 150-watt equivalent. I think you'll be okay. Your limitation is going to be that A19, because what happens is you'll be running into the glass on the bottom of this if you try to go any bigger. Leads me into the glass, so let's talk about that. So this is actually off the bigger one, the 1390-600, but it gives you the same idea. The bottom of this is going to have a piece of frosted glass to let light through. Also keeps you from being able to see up into the sockets. Plus bugs can roll off. There's a little bit of a gap on the very end of this between the shade and this, and what that does is it lets air come in and cool the socket up above. But it's always going to be installed facing up, so kind of remember that. A lot of people have seen it installed like that, and it looks kind of creepy. Anyway, I've seen it in magazines, believe it or not. So anyway, let's go on from there, and let's talk about the shade materials for a second. If you're on our website, Handmade in Vermont, over on the left-hand side of your screen, there's actually a lampshade materials help guide. However, bounce over to the right-hand side, and you're going to see a pull-down menu. It's going to say choose your shade fabrics. Pull that down. It's going to show you all the fabrics currently available on this fixture. Right above that, you can click a bunch of little boxes, put in your name and your address, and we'll send you out swatches. Swatches are free. You should get them. I totally think you should get them. It solves a lot of problems. We get them out the same day. Just make sure you only request the samples off of that pull-down menu, because you'll notice there's a whole bunch of other things on that page too. So moving on from there, why don't we talk about metal finishes. So over back on the left-hand side of your screen, there's a metal finishes help guide. So I think it just says finishes help guide. On the top of that page is going to be a video of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. Scroll down, there is a chart, and the chart has 10 finishes that this comes in. You'll notice some of the pictures have the letter A on them, some pictures have the letter B on them. You can scroll down a little bit more, and there's a tutorial I wrote. However, you can go back and use that video up above, and it'll kind of explain those differences in those pictures. When you're done with that, you can go back to that video, go back to the chart, and you can click on that chart, and you can open it up and check out lots of different samples of whatever you guys just clicked on. This fixture, because just the way it's made and doesn't have a lot of heavy forging, is going to be more in line with the pictures with a B for boy on them and not A for apple. Okay. So when you buy your Hubbardton forged fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. We're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No other dealer does that. Some big items, generally big things on big pallets, do not come back. So we'll always tell you about that on our website ahead of time. And then we also have a rush program. So rush takes you from Hubbardton Forge's normal 3 to 4 weeks in production time. Remember, they don't stock anything. Nobody does. 3 to 4 weeks, and we can whittle that down to a little under 2 weeks. It's very inexpensive, so just drop me a quick email and I can check into that for you. Our showroom in Vermont has over 350 Hubbardton forged fixtures spread across 2 floors. Back over on the left-hand side of your screen, click on the What's on Display page. You can check that out. It'll show you everything that's currently on the floor to look at. We also have a clearance center, and the clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. You have to come here to use it, so just another great reason to come visit us. So I think I kind of touched on everything. Showroom is open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can email us at sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. You can call 802-446-2400, and I can answer questions too. So if I missed anything, let me know, and thanks for stopping in today. Take care. Bye-bye.